Ben, you had something you wanted to highlight this week.
So I was scrolling through Twitter on Saturday, and this thing came across my feed, and it enraged me. It pissed me off so bad. I spent pretty much the whole day researching and trying to find out more about it. But it's this story in a ProPublica, um, and I think MSNBC did a hit on it for about 10 minutes. But it's not going to get any real traction in the media because unfortunately it's about black children. Anyway, there's this county in Tennessee, Rutherford, Tennessee, and this one particular situation, um, 11 children were arrested for watching a fight. So apparently, some kids got into a little scuffle after a basketball game, and somebody made a video of it. This video got to the police somehow, and the police decided that the kids watching the fight had to be arrested because they didn't break up the fight and they were encouraging the fight. Mm-hmm. The kids fighting were three kids that were between 5 and 8 years old.
Two 5 and 8 years old.
Yeah, so they couldn't charge them with it, like 5 and 7 or something. So they couldn't charge them with anything, and they weren't even fighting. Like according to,
they're 5 to 8. How can they even fight each other?
According to,
I got my tooth knocked out at 7, so I don't know what y'all talking about.
I've just never seen a serious 5 to 8-year-old fight. That's all. I'm just
right.
I'm just confused here.
Whatever. You've done this before.
Okay.
Anyway. The lady, her name is Templeton. I don't know her first name, but she was put in charge of this case. This lady's been a policeman since she was 21 years old, and she has been disciplined 37 times, suspended 9 times for numerous reasons, leaving her loaded gun in the car, causing a 4-car accident during the chase. Another time, she was in pursuit and didn't have her lights on. So she is a model policewoman, and she finds a way, makes up a charge to get 10 petitions to arrest 10 kids. And she goes to the school, she handcuffs 4 of them at the school, takes them to jail.
What's the ages of these kids?
The ages are they're all like around 8.
They're that young.
Yeah, there's elementary school kids.
Wow.
And the rest of them, the cops either go to their house to arrest the kids, or the parents find out about the charges and bring them in. So this, of course, brings about a lawsuit, and the lawsuit allows reporters to see more information about what's going on in this court system. So apparently this juvenile court system is run by a lady named Judge Deborah Scott Davenport. She's been the only judge in this county since 2000, and she likes to put small children in jail. Her rate of retention is 48%. Meaning any child for anything, truancy.
So she's in juvenile court.
She's in juvenile court.
You said, where is this at?
Rutherford, Tennessee.
Okay, the South.
And yeah, so that's their rate, 48%. The state of Tennessee reprimanded them for their practices, because they had a practice where they would send every child that got arrested for any reason to this juvenile detention center so they could get booked and processed through there, so they could be charged, so they could get money for having a kid in the jail.
I was going to ask, is this a private jail?
No, it's ran by the county.
Okay, but you're talking about
No, we know it's ran by the county, but who owns it?
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
know.
But also, I guess they're making money off the bookings,
Yeah,
basically. And
they
if you,
charge the county for
so it's
every
like
mile they take.
ticketing. It's like ticketing in the hood. Okay.
Yeah.
Modern day slavery.
So this is all disgusting. This judge is not qualified to be a judge, if you ask me. She got her law degree 9 years after. No, she got her law degree, and then it took her 9 years and 5 tries to pass the bar. And then 3 years after that, she was appointed to a position on the juvenile court.
Mm,
And then when they created this particular court for this county, she slid in for that spot,
mm.
and she's run unopposed ever since the first election.
Well, I was going to say she has to get elected to this every year, right?
Yeah, it's elected, but
Yep.
apparently, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the parents didn't know, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how she could be in this position for this long. This is just a
But
terrible situation.
when you live in that environment, you live in those circumstances, you think it's normal until you leave it. So these people probably think, okay, well, everybody goes to jail for this, and
That's the way
then
it
you
is.
leave, and that's the way it is. But it's not. And
Right.
people we need exposure for this, because that if I went to jail for every fight I watched, I'd be in jail for life. That's ridiculous. That's wow.
So all these kids that were picked up at school and arrested, these 10 or 11 kids, did they have to serve juvenile time, or were they released, or what?
All but four of the kids were released. The four black boys
Of course.
spent, I think two of them spent 2 days in jail. I
Wow.
think the rest were released.
Hmm.
What were they charged with?
Yeah.
I,
Because no, only reason I'm asking, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with Kevin Garnett's story. Kevin Garnett in
Yeah.
South Carolina, he was
Mhm.
watching a fight in a hallway. He got charged with lynching or something of that nature, because
Yeah.
it was black boys watching a racial fight.
Yeah.
lynching.
Well,
I don't know if that's the right. Let me correct. I don't know if that's the right charge.
it's a
But
crowd charge. It's
Right.
like a mob charge.
He got
Oh,
charged with, and that's why he ended up moving to Chicago, because his mom was like, "I ain't having this."
Hmm. Yeah,
That's
those
why,
those laws were originally put in for lynching.
to protect black people.
Be correct, yeah, because if you were part of the mob, then that was the whole point of the law. But they unfortunately can use it in the cases of youth fighting as well.
I
oh
don't know,
wow.
man.
Well,
So
Ben, yeah,
there's been no repercussions to these people. The police officer, I think, was suspended for a day. Nothing happened to the judge. Nothing's happened to the lady who runs the jail. Um, it's it, I did just look up and see that the school that this lady teaches at, I think they have dismissed her because she was an adjunct professor at MTSU.
mm,
So I think they have at least taken some action.
okay.
And there was an $11 million lawsuit that the county has to pay for this
Why is
particular instance.
Oh,
something like this not on the news?
I mean, did this happen in 2017? Is that what I'm reading right?
Yeah,
Okay, so this story is just now coming out from
right,
2017.
right.
I mean, it's 2021 now, and this is just now coming out.
Wow. So I'm guessing they're getting ready to have to pay this lawsuit. Is that probably why it's coming up?
I don't know why the story is taking so long to come out. I think the judgment uh, for this happened in 2017,
Wow.
and
Real,
I
real,
think
real quick, for the viewers, if they want to pull this up, where can they pull it up at?
Yeah.
I'll put a link in the description, but WPLN News is the local uh, outlet for this story. The guy from ProPublica, you can go to ProPublica if you got a subscription there. You can read it there,
Mhm.
but he did it in conjunction with a local news person from this radio station.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well,
That's
thanks.
sad. That's sad, man.
That's sad. Yeah, if you want to learn more about this, yeah, Ben, he'll put a link in there for you guys to click on. If not, check out ProPublica if you have an account with them. Take a look at it, read up on it. Hopefully, this story will get some more traction and maybe some changes can be made in this county. I guess the question is, it's systemic. Is it still occurring? Are they still having this high, rate of jailing of youth? Um, need to look into it and check it out. So please take a look and see what you can dig up on it. And we'll try to keep you updated on the story as well. The more we find out. All right. Thanks for that, Ben. Appreciate it, man. All right. And I think, Ben, you had one more. The story of the gentleman, of course, being pulled from his car this past week, a paraplegic man out in Florida, after announcing that he is a paraplegic. There's a full video out on it. If you haven't seen it, check it out. What's your take on this case, y'all?
Disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't even know what the other way to put it. These, like I said, I think I said in the episode before, these people don't care, man. They don't care who they hurt. They don't care. They don't give a damn. It's the best way to put it.
I think it's the selective nature of police, because you see instances all the time where police do nice things, right? Like as soon as a cop picks up a baby or reads a kid a story or pats a kid on the head or something, you'll see it on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. Local news will bring it up. Good cop doing the right thing. And so they're not inhuman 100% of the time, or most of them aren't. I don't know. But it's this selective way they turn off their human side of their brains when they come across black people in cars. I mean, it's clear that this dude is a paraplegic. He says it multiple times. There wasn't a rush. They had to wait for the dog to get there if they were going to search his car.
And let me, sorry to cut you off, but the pullover was for tinted windows.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. And suspicion of leaving a
child unsecured.
Well, I thought it was because he left a house that was known to have drugs. These are all suspicious. Like these are all like, how would you know?
Yeah, how do you know all of it?
How do you know all
this? Okay, the article I did read, they pulled him over for tinted windows. When they got his license registration, of course, his background came up. He did in the past get arrested for a drug offense. Okay. But it was the past. He served his time, whatever. We don't know what he's doing right now. You pulled him over for the window tint, it's a ticket. Give him his ticket, let him go. There was no reason for you to even open the car. There was no reason for you to search him.
Yeah.
This is past.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the issue. I'll make a editorial correction here. Sorry, this was in Dayton, Ohio. I think I said Florida. I think when I watched it on the news, I could have swore I thought I heard Daytona, but it was actually Dayton, Ohio. So yeah, Mr. Owensby Clifford, 39-year-old man. Of course, he has been in contact with NAACP. My first guess is, of course, that there probably will be a suit, civil of some sort, for this event, and we'll see what comes out of it. I think what people have to understand is, for every incident like this, it always, of course, leads to a civil suit. At some point, I think counties and states should be getting tired of paying out lawsuits. Now, the reason I bring it up, because of course it's taxpayer money. Us as citizens, we end up paying for this.
Right.
Whether you want to or not, whether you agree with it or whatever you think of the situation, we all pay for it in the end. And so basically they're taxing a tax base that probably really can't afford it or doesn't really want to pay it, but yet they have no choice due to the way that some activities are handled.
Right. How does a county or a state or a town come up with $11 million or however much this
whatever it will be? Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be in the millions of dollars if he wins.
Yeah.
You know, how do they come up with that money? You know, what the police budget doesn't get cut.
Comes
You know,
out of school
what do they?
budget. It comes out of welfare budget. It comes out
Yeah.
of road budget. It comes out of somewhere. And it has to get paid, you know, when they finally get to these suits. So, I mean, you know, if you don't want change, maybe think about change just in that fact. Maybe money will motivate you to make a change.
I got a bigger question. When are these counties going to stop taking these officers' backs? Like, they're backing these officers, they're covering for these officers. Just fire them, prosecute them. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, this whole thing
I'm
about
just
Yeah, we'll have to see how this one plays out in the courts. And, you know, what the suits bring. You know, generally people will get fired if a suit has to get paid out or if they find negligence at some point from the interviews or whatever. So we'll have to see how they decide to hand this one out in the county. And, you know, the pullover, okay, for tent. You know, that's one of the things that, you know, when people talk about change, I mean, that's used as a reason to pull people over. Like I know in Minnesota, you can get pulled over for having air freshener hanging from your rearview mirror.
Yeah, that's how the brother got shot last summer, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's things like that that need to change, which of course will reduce some of these incidents. And it's again, it is a tax in some sort. It's a ticket. You know, that's the minimum they expect to get out of it. And next thing you know, you don't have insurance because you didn't pay your ticket. Right. And it's an endless cycle.
You know, in Virginia, they can't pull you over that stuff no more.
That's a good thing. That's progress.
Commonwealth.
Good for them. That's a good change. All right, y'all. Moving